So today, Craig Federighi had a talk regarding the latest feature of iOS 14.5, which is privacy. Privacy is a very important topic for a lot of people, but for me, it's not necessarily the most parang the best thing in the world or parang the most important thing in the world. Uh, for a lot of Gen Z and for a lot of people, around me, people don't generally tend to care about privacy as much as from the other generations, which is okay, which is parang kasi in this online service world, in this world wherein we have a lot of trade-offs between privacy and features and services such as Facebook, YouTube, Google, and all of these other big companies that are serving us with their giving us their services of video streaming, of social networks, of communications. So of course you had to have that trade-off wherein you are sort of the product, you are the one being sold products to, and you're the one also being sold to marketers and advertisers. So it's a two-way street. Now with Apple's latest iOS 14.5 update, it's a sort of big thing in the industry because a lot of people are saying, especially the big players, Facebook in particular, are saying na mahirap to sa business model nila. Of course, Facebook's very intelligent in the way that they get data from users, pero magiging napakapahirap dito sa business model nila kasi nga they rely on ads. But they can still have many other ways of collecting ads, but one of the ways that that they're able to track you more effectively is through the unique Apple device identifier or ad identifier, which is linked to every single Apple device and every single Apple ID. So, if with the iOS 14.5 update, if you click the Ask App Not to Track button, what essentially happens is that Apple will not supply this app the unique device identifier or unique ad identifier that belongs to you. But of course, ayun nga, there's other methodologies such as fingerprinting, such as getting your data from such as device information, such as your IP address, such as your MAC address. There are many other ways of getting this information, of identifying you. But in essence, of course, parang nanghihinayang sila Facebook, which is because an ad identifier on the iPhone, embedded in the iPhone, is already a big plus for them, that they don't have to be as technically invasive by using all of these other methodologies. Essentially, what this means for you as the normal user is that you're given more control over your privacy. But this also means for Facebook and all of their colleague companies, essentially means that they will be doing or they will be putting a lot more effort into mining these ads, into mining this information that would normally be available to them. In effect, in my opinion, I think it would be more of a cat and mouse game na Apple would put up more barriers in protecting their user privacy through the apps in their app store. In effect, that would encourage Facebook and Google and YouTube to be a little more to put a little more effort into trying to find out who the exact user is using their service. But of course, we all know that they already have an effective way of doing that. Ayun lang talaga. Small thing, small update. For a lot of people, a lot of people care a lot about privacy. I'm not necessarily one of those people. But yeah, it's gonna be a resounding theme in the industry, especially with the update of iOS 14.5. And I'm pretty sure, knowing Google is going to follow suit with one way or another of enabling or disabling ad tracking. So, yun, di ba? Essentially, this is the reason why I believe that Apple's efforts into putting up privacy barriers is not super duper effective, because there are many other ways of knowing who the user is, who the end user is. Apple's ad identifier is just one of the many methods or ways that advertisers do know who they're targeting. That's why I think na, yes, it's a PR stunt for to an extent, Pero I would love to believe Apple that really Apple loves the or cares about the privacy of their user. But at the end of the day, not never gonna be as effective as, say, setting up legislation for controlling privacy when it comes to Facebook and when it comes to these other social media and big companies. Nothing will beat setting up legislation such as the UK's GDPR, which required companies to disclose and to get the user's consent before they track cookies, before they track user data and information. So all of these things, it's really a hand-in-hand sort of thing that you need to get your legislators in line, and you also need to get these companies to act in the best interest of everyone. So yeah, it's kind of we're kind of in the middle. We're kind of in the middle of a long. You're trying to build up incentives nga as to how will these companies stay profitable, how will these companies maintain their business model if you cut out the privacy or if you cut out the advertising aspect of it and just make it more generic. In this new world, data is everything. In this new world, data is the number one currency. So to remove the worth of the data, to remove the how the type of data, yung parang gaano ka private yung data na yun, it makes the advertisement or the advertiser parang less inclined to advertise on their platforms. So it will always be a cat and mouse game as far as I can see it, at least in the current way that the system is going, the current way that things are moving. Yeah. So thank you guys for listening. This has been not an expert's opinion on privacy and the state of the industry in general. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to Day One Media, and hope to see you guys in the next video.
Now, what is that, you might ask? It's painting your own graphics card, in our case a GTX 1060 OC edition. We'll try to see if it has any semblance of working or if the water is leaking.